There. You have to see a bit of the t-shirt at least, right? So, we did day 1 yesterday, and day 3 will be out in like 2 minutes, probably. So, we'll see if we'll have time for 1 or 2 days. Let's hop over there. Amazing that it's December already. It's just like, how did that happen? I don't know. Yeah, so let's I guess I'll read it all. And then we'll do whatever we need to do. So no attack box, meaning no Kali VM. No split screen. Link, okay. We'll see. I don't know what happened with my throat, but something happened. So let's start this one before we start. So there'll be a URL to check out. Day 2. One man's false positive is another man's potpourri. It's the most wonderful time of the year again, and it's also the most successful day for Where Will's Security Operations Center team. Despite the overwhelming alerts generated by the new and noisy rules deployed, Werewolf SOC analysts have been processing them non-stop to ensure the safety of the town. However, the SOC analysts are now burning out of workload. Okay, they're burning out. Needed before Christmas. That's kind of regular in Christmas times, right? Numerous open cases are still pending, and similar alerts are still firing repeatedly, making them think of the possibility of false positive out of all this mess. Oh, whatever. Odd sentence. We get the meaning. Now, the help of awesome Werewolf SOC team analyze the alerts to determine whether the rumor is true that Mayor malware is instigating chaos within the town. True positive or false positives. In a SOC, events from different devices are sent to the CM, which is a single source. That was a debate yesterday on how to pronounce that, right? I think I'll say CM. Which is a single source of truth, where all the information events are aggregated. Certain rules, detection, engineering rules, are defined to identify malicious and suspicious activities from these events. If the events are set of events fulfill the conditions of a rule, it triggers an alert. A SOC analyst then analyzes the alert to identify if the alert is a true positive TP or a false positive FP. An alert is considered a true positive. I should have said TP. If it contains actual malicious activity. On the flip side, if the alert triggers because of an activity that is not actually malicious, it's considered of FP. This might seem very simple in theory, but practically, separating TPs from FPs can be a tedious job. It can sometimes become very confusing to differentiate between the attacker and the system administrator. This looks bad. Oh, how sophisticated. Must be an APT. Oh, it's just a system administrator. Again. Making a decision. Well, it's confusing to differentiate between true positives and false positives. It's very crucial to get it right. If a TP is falsely classified as an FP, it can lead to a significant impact from a missed cyber attack. If an FP is falsely classified as a TP, precious time will be spent focusing on the FP, which might lead to less focus on an actual attack.
Succeed says. Oh yay, lots of reading lol.
Yeah. My throat didn't agree with me today, it seems. So we'll see how it goes. So, how exactly do we ensure that we perform this crucial job efficiently? We can use the below pointers to guide us, so we'll learn how to differentiate between them now. Using the SOC superpower. The SOC is a superpower. When they are unsure whether an activity is performed by a malicious actor or a legitimate user, they can just confirm with the user. This privilege is not available to the attacker. The SOC analyst, on the other hand, can just send an email or call the relevant person to get confirmation of a certain activity. Yeah, I'm thinking AI now, right? It's an AI answering with their voice. Next level. Immature organization, any changes that might trigger an alert in the SOC often require change requests to be created and approved through the IT change management process. Depending on the process, the SOC team can ask the users to share change request details for confirmation. Surely, if it is legitimate and approved activity, it must have been approved. So, context. While it might seem like using the SOC superpower makes things super easy, that's not always the case. Well, also, if there's like a million alerts, how would your users like that, right? There are cases which can act as kryptonite to the SOC superpower if an organization doesn't have a change request process in place. The performed activity was outside the scope of the change request and was different from what was approved. The activity triggered an alert, such as copying files to a certain location, uploading a file to some website, or fail login to a system. An insider threat performed an activity they are not authorized to perform, whether intentionally or unintentionally. The user performed a lot of reading, yeah. Malicious activity with social engineering from a threat actor. Okay. Sorry. In such scenarios, it's very important for the SOC analyst to understand the context of the activity and make a judgment call based on their analysis. By the way, we could make it a bit bigger. So I usually have it bigger when I read on stream. Sorry. Analysis skills and security knowledge. Judgment call based on that. While doing so, the analyst can look at past behavior of the user and prevalence of a certain event or artifact throughout the organization or a certain department. For example, if a certain user from the network team is using Wireshark, there is a chance that a user from the same team also uses Wireshark. However, Wireshark is seen on a machine belonging to someone from HR or finance should rightfully raise some eyebrows. Correlation. When building the context, the analyst must correlate different events to make a story or a timeline. Correlation entails using past and future events to recreate a timeline of events. When performing correlation, it's important to note down certain important artifacts that can be used to connect the dots. These important artifacts can include IP addresses, machine names, usernames, hashes, file paths, etc. Correlation requires a lot of hypothesis creation and ensuring that the evidence supports the hypothesis. Hypothesis can be something like the user downloading malware of a spoofed domain. The evidence to support this can be practicalized that support the hypothesis that a website was visited. The website used a spoof domain name. A certain file was downloaded from the website. Now let's say, come on, God, how much text. They could say this in 3 words. I'm almost there, you know. The shorter you can say something, the better. That's why I'm making notes. Part of it. Now let's say we want to identify whether the malware executed through some vulnerability in an application or a user intentionally executed the malware. To see that, we might look at the parent process of the malware and the command line parameters used to execute the said malware. If a parent process is Windows Explorer, we can assume that the user executed the malware intentionally, or they might have been tricked into executing it via social engineering. But if the parent process is a web browser or a word processor, we can assume that the malware was not intentionally executed, but it was executed because of a vulnerability inside the application. Is it TP or FP? Similar. We'll never forget TP and FP now, right? So many repetitions. Similar to every SOC, the analysts in Verbal SOC also need to differentiate between TPs and FPs. This become especially difficult for them near Christmas, when the analysts face alert fatigue. High chances of misclassification of TPs and FPs and vice versa are present in such times, and their analysts therefore appreciate the help they could get from us in this critical time. To make matters worse, the office of the mayor has sent the analysts an alert informing them of multiple encoded PowerShell commands run on the systems. Perhaps we can help with that. So, no need to start a VM today. Attack box. We just clicked this. Yeah, there's a need. But this... I think I asked them last year to change it, but maybe this is better. I think it's better now. So, I would say room VM, right? Because this is instead my VM or attack box, local VM or attack box, whatever. To help the analysts, we must start an Elastic CM in a touch VM by clicking the Start Machine button. Then it takes 5 minutes to initialize and for the Elastic login page to appear. So, should we open it on this machine? Or should I open it on the VM? We'll see. So, a very advanced password. Elastic. So, loading Elastic. I think I've seen this once. And it's good to learn stuff, so...
Where's everyone? This is fun.
Yeah, thank you. So... Welcome home. Enterprise Search, Observatory Security, Analytics. Get started by adding integrations. You'll have to come back here. Yes, I haven't been streaming for a week. But we'll see. Once we log in, we can click the menu on the top left corner or go to Discover tab to see events. And now I had to see if there's another place to click that. No? So, Discover. No results. So I have my control tab ready here to switch quickly. According to the alert sent by the Major's office, the activity occurred at December 1st, 2024 between 9 and 9:30. We can set this as our time window by clicking the time frame settings in the upper right corner. Now that we need to click the absolute tab to set the exact time frame we want to view. Lastly, click the update button. So I wouldn't say this is in the corner, but whatever. I think it's hiding stuff there, yeah. No? So, where's the exact thingy? I feel blind. Absolute. Relative. There's no absolute. So it wasn't just me? So, I'm thinking, okay, so this clicks there. Oh, so if I click here, I get this thing. And now when I click there, there is a date here. Were there dates before? No, just the last 15 minutes. So I have to click this to get this thingy. 15 minutes to now. And then I can click absolute. Good. Okay. And it was the 1st, 9 to 9:30. So let's go first. And 9. And then we change this one to absolute. 1st, 9:30. I prefer typing. This is annoying. Having to click. Update. So. They said PowerShell, right? Available fields. Oh. So, and these have the fields down here, so we can search on stuff. Part of it. I'm thinking there'll be a command line somewhere here. There's a command line. Can we filter for value? Filter for value. And we don't want this value, we want another one. So how do I edit this? Do I click it? Edit filter? And we want this to be, there must be a contains or something. Exists. Num is one of, is not one of. I'm just testing. Then we can read how we're supposed to do it later. Alright? It's probably not at all, right? Let's see how we're supposed to do it. Maybe we can just click add filter and we're more logical, right? Edit filter, field. Let's see what they suggest. Sorry, not the tab, the control tab. So after updating setting, we see 21 events in the mentioned time frame. In their current form, these events don't look very easily readable. We can use the fields in the left pane to add columns to the result and make them more readable. Oh, fields in the left pane, so we can just click them. Okay, that wasn't obvious. Obviously, right? So there's a plus here. Add field as column. Should I have seen that? Here's the command line thingy. So now you can see the command line. What did I look at before? Anyway. So I'm very curious to check what this is now. So let's do that. I'm just checking my VM. Yeah, it's still connected to. So the reason I'm streaming later than usual today is my kid had a meeting. So there. So I kind of started everything very quickly, so I didn't even start this. And the start of stream was like, I didn't start my streamer bot until after I started streaming. A bit of a mess, right? It's supposed to be like that, isn't it? I'm waiting for a 5-second ad. My phone. There. Now I can switch screens, hopefully. No? It needs a bit more time. There. So. Come on. Come on. I'm just going to copy the text. So, there. Echo. So, I have one of those ready in my history, so I don't have to type it all. Lazy. Right? Install Windows Update, except all auto reboot. Okay? So. And this is the other one. Windows System 32 Notepad.exe. Yeah, I'm curious what they'll say in the room now. Oh. Switching VMs by mistake here. There. It's also Control-Tab apparently to switch between the VMs. I don't know why VMware is so odd that it keeps... Come on. If I minimize it, I think I can see them here. Nah. Ah, whatever. So, what I meant is this. Why have them up like this, right? I would prefer just to have it in a list somewhere where I don't see. So, in the current form, right? And we added the. Here's timestamp. They add timestamp. Let's do that. Timestamp plus. Why would we want timestamp when we have this? I don't get it at all. It's the same thing again. Oh, whatever. What's this called, by the way? Does it have time and timestamp? Whatever. Since we're looking for events related to PowerShell, we would like to know the following details about the log. The host name where the command was run. We can use the hostname field as a column for that. Also, I think we might be filtering already on that. Can we see the filters? I guess that's just, there's no filters, right? And this is getting more space to read. Host name, user name. So definitely learning a lot here because I've never used this. Username. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. I guess that I should zoom out, right? We get tiny text. But that's too tiny. Oh well. The host name where the command was run. We can use host name field as a column for that. The user performed the activity. We can add the username field. We can add the event category field to ensure that we're looking for a correct event category. So event category plus process authentication. Yeah. So we were already seeing that these don't have the command line. So to know the actual commands, process command line. That's the one I added. Yeah. Finally, to know the activity, if the activity succeeded, event outcome. Event outcome. So, success for everything. So we really didn't get any more information. Alright, we get to know that it is the service admin running all of these. But we could have just expanded something to see that, right? Once we have added these fields as columns, we will see the result in a format like this. Yeah, but in a different order. Interesting. Looks like someone ran the same encoded PowerShell command on multiple machines. Another thing to note here is that before each execution of the PowerShell command, we see an authentication event, which was successful. So, this activity is observed immediately on each machine, and the time difference between the login and the PowerShell command looks very precise. Best practice dictates that named accounts are used for any kind of administrator activity, so that there is accountability and attribution for each administrative activity performed. The usage of a generic admin account here also seems suspicious. On asking, the analyst informs us that this account is used by 2 administrators who are not in the office when this activity occurred. Something is definitely not right. Are these some of the glitches shenanigans? Is Christmas in danger? We need to find out who ran these commands. Let's also add the source IP field. It's a column to find who ran it. Okay. The source IP. So here we see we have an IP here. To me, this didn't look very suspicious at all, since it's just, well, we'll see what happens. What is this suspicious thing, except for it being like the account. Since the source IP field since the source IP field is only available for the authentication events, we can filter out the process events to see if there is a pattern. To do that, we can hover over the event category field. In one of the process event, we will see the option to filter only for this value, +, or filter out the value. Let's filter for authentication events by clicking the +. So this is not really useful because we don't have a lot of events. It's just for us learning, right? So I'll not complain. So the + for authentication. since those have the IPs. So if we had 1 million hits here, it would be easier to see. Why wouldn't we do it on the IP only? Because we wanted to see that there were no others. So as a result, you can see that the output only renders authentication events. Since the result does not give useful insights, let's remove it for now. You can do this by clicking the X beside the filter. So where is the filter? Here. So now we can click that away. Bye bye bye. And there was an image that I didn't look until afterwards. But it's nicer to find it yourself, right? Since it has also bright light screenshots, couldn't they switch to dark mode in all of TryHackMe? That would be nice. Since the time frame we previously used was for the partial events, and the authentication events might have been coming from before that, we'll need to expand the search to understand the context and the historical events for this user. Yeah. Let's see if we have any events from the user from 29th of November to 1st of December. Updating the time frame for these days. Look like this. Remember to remove event category filter before this step. Yeah, so they said for this user, but they're not filtering anything. And we can see here this line was not the filters, it was up here, so I was unsure there before. We did have a filter. So let's increase this to the 29th. Can I scroll now? So 29th. Anytime. I guess that means early. So so here we have the bunch of stuff. So we have a lot of failures here. I was kind of assuming this would be what we would see. And there's also different host names here. Why can't we see the header when we scroll? This is minus. How could I lock this line in place? No, I don't want to move it. And this is sorting, of course. So I would like to lock this line. And I would like to not see the chart. Don't like graphics. So it's useful to see this, but when we've seen it, we're done there, right? With this tiny thing to see. So credential, get credential, credential, export, CLI XML, service admin, credential XML. And then the one we already had. Yeah. And then a lot of failures from different hosts. But this is not all the same IP. Here. Here's another success. And then they switched. Let's just scroll to the bottom of it. Oh, these are the first 500 documents. Refine your search to see others. This is like the worst case ever. I don't want that. I want to see more, right? I don't like this. No good. So, note, remember to remove first. We did that. We changed the dates. Whoa, there have been more than 6,800 events in these 3 days, and we see the spike at the end of the logs. However, even though we use the time filter for the day, the end of December, we see no events after successful partial execution. Yeah, I didn't change the end date. Should I have done that? Yeah, they put it at 23:30, whatever. They say there's no change. However, even though we used to there have also been a lot more authentication event in the previous days than on 1st of December. To understand the events further, let's filter out our username with service admin, source IP. Yeah, so then we would have missed the things we saw there. So let's not do that. It looks like all these events have been coming from the same user and same IP address. We definitely need to investigate further. This also does not explain that spike. Let's filter for authentication events by clicking our plus button beside it. So, what are they going for, really? You know, they have filtered on the other IP, so let's go up to those. And there's processes here, so they don't want to see these. I'm like, why? They would only see these. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why they don't want all the information. I guess it's just for practicing filtering, but we've done that, so I'm not doing it anymore. We've done exactly that. Let's filter out the source IP here to see if we can find the IP address that caused the spike. This can be done by clicking the minus button beside it. Yeah, we already saw this, you know. And we didn't need to use the graphics. Scrolling down, we can see many events for failed logs. I'm thinking I'll probably forget this, right? Though it's not that unintuitive, so I'll probably remember it. We'll see. We see many events of failed log. We also see that IP address for spike. 255.1 differs from the one we saw in the events. Continues to come from previous day. The analyst has previously investigated this and found that the script with expired credentials was causing this issue. However, the script was updated with a fresh set of credentials. Anyhow, this might just be another script. Let's find out. Let's remove source IP filters so we can focus on authentication events close to the spike. After applying the new filter, we see that the failed log stopped a little while after the successful login from the new IP. So, our suspicions arising. It seems that someone tried a brute force attack on December 1st. It's shown by the same filters applied before. The result also showed that they succeeded with a brute force attempt because a successful authentication attempt, and quickly ran some PowerShell commands on the affected machines. Once the PowerShell commands were run, we didn't see any further login attempts. This looks like a TP. Now there needs to be an escalation so that McSkitty can help us respond to this incident. Is Christmas in danger? The alarms have gone off, and McSkitty is being called to help take this incident further. The analysts have briefed McSkitty about the incident. McSkitty observed that nobody had actually looked at what the PowerShell command contained. Since the command was encoded, it needs to be decoded. McSkitty changed the filters with event category process to look a deeper look at the PowerShell commands. So we already did that, of course. We can see a PowerShell command, and McSkitty knows that encoded PowerShell commands are generally base64 encoded. Well, we did just base64D. Not CyberChef, but CyberChef is good. Since the command might contain some sensitive information and therefore must not be submitted on a public portal, McSkitty spins up her own instance of CyberChef hosted locally. It's just how to use CyberChef. I'm guessing this is one of the answers, so let's copy it. Because it's grayed out, so it will probably be one of the answers. Let's just go to the bottom and see where to paste it. So, woo, 2-day streak. Let's see if it becomes 24, right? No, I won't probably not stream in the weekend. The result provided cyber relief to McSkitty, who had feared that Christmas had been ruined. Someone had come in to help McSkitty with the team secure their defenses, but who? Villain or hero? McSkitty further analyzed. If they had done it our direction, they would have seen what it was, right? They wouldn't have had to do all that stuff. McSkitty further analyzed the secret hero and came to a startling revelation. The credentials for the script in the machines that run the Windows updates were outdated. Someone brute forced the system and fixed the credentials after successfully logging in. This was evident from the fact that each executed PowerShell command was preceded by a successful login from the same source IP, causing failed logins over the past few days. And that's even starting. It was Glitch who accessed Admoa01 and fixed the credentials after McSkitty confirmed who owned the IP address. So we looked at that one. Oh, we should get that one again, apparently. I'm just checking I remove the filters since they're all authentication, you know. Yes, I think I'm going the wrong direction. So let's see here. So we should go down to the questions. Apparently the IP will be there too. This meant that the people of Werewolf had a misunderstood Glitch, who was just trying to help shore up the defenses. But if Glitch was the one helping the defenses, who was trying to sabotage it? Was it the mayor who informed the site about the suspicious PowerShell commands? Just like our alerts aren't always what they seem in a SOC, so was the case here at Werewolf with people. The scientist was to differentiate between a TP and an FP. Well, this was a TP anyway, right? People shouldn't be able to brute force the passwords. So was the case with the Mayor glitch. However, McSkitty can perhaps use evidence-based deduction skills learned in the SOC to make a difference easier for people and Werewolf. So Werewolf just sounds like werewolf to me. No software and malware and stuff. So the questions below. What is the name of the account causing? Okay, the account name can we copy? I think we can copy here because I copied the other stuff. This is just annoying with the theme I do. There. How many failed logon attempts were observed? Oh, that's a good question. So how do I know that? That's like out of my knowledge here, we've tested and learned. So we can see what we have hits here. So if we look at fail here, minus successes, and plus authentication, we should see only failures for authentication, right? And let's see if we go down to the bottom. It still says the first 500, but we can see that there are more here. So even if it doesn't list them, it still counts them here. So I guess 6791. So, what is the IP address of glitch? So we just scroll down 10.0. There? No. No, it was 0. 10.0. Why did I say 0 and type 1? That's a good question. When did glitch successfully log on to add 1 format? So I saw that one. Then we have to remove the filters here. Didn't I add 2 filters? Did it like fail? Whatever. I'm kinda sure. Let's try again. Process plus and success plus. No. Success should be minus. Success minus. It's not updating quickly enough. So there should have been 2. Whatever. I guess that when I filtered for success, and then I did this one. No, it's still 2. Because it's the same number, you know. Because the failures are the failed authentication attempts. Whatever. Let's go to the scroll from the bottom here. And then we're just going to get the date of it. So here is the success. And I think they wanted this format, did they? And it keeps popping up those thingies. I think I've selected it all. Is this the right format? Let's just paste it and test. Yes, it was the right format. That's always nice. If you enjoyed this, though I've noticed that recently TryHackMe has been fixing stuff. So it's not just one answer anymore. So if you put another correct answer that they accept, that's not exactly what they want, it will still say okay. If you enjoyed this task, feel free. So I don't know if I enjoyed it, but I want to learn it still. So looking through logs is not my favorite fun thing. So it is underneath here. So I should sort my bookmarks more, right? Whatever. So I'm putting the thingies there that they point to.